Hello class, this is an instructional video about paragraph 1, the introduction of your template-based essay. So, if you look at the template, you should have printed this out or at least be looking at it on your computer. You will see that paragraph 1 is where you identify the authors and titles of articles 1 and 2. Okay, so in our case, this is going to be Lieberman and Bird. Use the correct punctuation marks and capitalization for the author's names and titles of the articles. Okay, so both of ours are going to go in quotation marks. So the first thing you have to do is briefly summarize the overall topic or theme of the articles. Okay, I'm going to say this now. Please make sure you're listening to me right now. I am going to model write for you. In this specific assignment, your words should not be the same as mine. I am simply showing you how to do it. So when you submit your final template-based essay, I should not see any of the same language that I am using in my model writing. Okay, this is just a guide to help you understand what the process looks like. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is briefly summarize the overall topic. Well, I think everyone knows by now, you've done enough writing and reading of Lieberman and Bird that you know that the overall topic or theme of the article, of both articles, is the value of a college education. Okay, so I need to make sure that my first sentence conveys that. So before we start, I'm just going to give you a little review about how to set up your paper. All right, first thing I'm going to do is double click in the header box. I'm going to tab over. Let's pretend my name is Jane Student. So I am going to put student with a space afterward. Then I'm going to hit page number. And I want to go to current position. Then I'm going to pull down and go to plain number. Okay, so by doing this, every corresponding page should have the correct page number on it along with my last name. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut and highlight that and change the size of the font. Okay. Once I finish with my pagination, I'm going to set up my paper for my essay. I'm going to click on paragraph. Make sure your spacing is set on 0 point. Okay, that's going to make all the lines equal when you double space. And then my line spacing needs to be on double. All right, and now I think my margins are already okay. I'll double check them. Yes, there are 1-inch margins on all sides. So I'm ready to go. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is type my name, Jane Student, then my instructor's name, Anna Richardson, the name of the class, and the submission date. Tentatively, I am going to set this submission date at, I think the 22nd of February. I'm going to do 22 February 2016. Okay. The title for this template-based essay, it could be whatever you want it to be. I think mine is going to be kind of generic, and I'm going to do Compare and Contrast of Lieberman and Bird. And I spelled her name wrong. Get out of there. And of course, your title is going to be centered. All right. So, during the introduction, I'm going to indent. And just so you know exactly what I'm doing, remember, I'm going to briefly summarize the overall topic or theme of the articles. So that is the value of a college education. Okay, so I'm going to say, I've got to name both titles and both authors. So I'm going to start mine with, In Both Stop Scaring Students by Deborah Lieberman, and College is, oh, that should be capitalized, is a waste of time and money by Caroline Bird. The value of a college education is argued. Okay, both of them are argumentative pieces, so I think argued is an appropriate verb. Okay, I'm going to go back to my template. If you look, the second one says, explain why the topic addressed by the reading, so the value of a college education, is a worthy subject for college level students to discuss. Okay, so just thinking out loud, I think college is a very scary investment of both time, money, effort. So I think students need to be as educated as possible about the risk involved, the benefits involved before they begin that journey through their college education. Or maybe they will decide not to go that route. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I convey all that in a very concise sentence. So I'm going to write the financial and time-consuming investment of a college education is a mammoth burden on students across the country. Therefore, potential college students need to be aware of the negative and positive aspects of pursuing a 4-year degree versus a vocational trade. All right. Let me correct my stuff. All right. So I think I did a good job there of getting all my thoughts on paper. I might need to go back later and revise it. This is my first draft. So when I go back to the template, this is probably the most important sentence in the introduction. This is my thesis statement. All right. Your thesis statement states the purpose of your essay. Now what you don't want to do is say the purpose of my essay is. Okay, that shows that you are not a skilled writer. That shows that you are kind of taking the easy way out, and it's just not what you want to do. You want to tell me without telling me what you're going to do, if that makes any sense. I'm going to give you an example. All right. Okay. Although Lieberman and Bird have starkly contrasting views on the value of a college education, both texts provide strong support of each side of the argument, which will help students decide whether college is more risk or reward. All right. Okay. So I feel like I have my thesis statement tells that yes, what you're about to read, these authors' opinions are completely different, but the one thing they have in common is they both do a good job of providing evidence that supports each side of the argument. And by doing that, students will be better off because they can decide whether college is more risk or more reward, what the downfalls are, what the benefits are. Okay, so right here, if I were a student in this class, I would probably begin my next paragraph. Remember, this is going to be 5 paragraphs in all. The second paragraph, if you look at your template, is the summary that you have already written for Stop Scaring Students. So I'd probably begin by just dropping it in there. I'd probably cut and paste it from the original document and drop it in there. Make sure that you have looked at my feedback and that you have corrected your errors. but just drop it in there, and then I would go back and sort of tweak it to make sure that it fits and that it's fluid and that it's concise. Okay? There may be some parts of it that you think aren't really making the summary any better. You may want to omit some parts. You may want to revise some parts. But make sure when you're done that the summary gives an overall message of what Lieberman was trying to convey. Okay? Paragraph 3, if you look at that, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to drop in your bird summary, and then you're going to tweak it to make sure that it fits correctly. When you do that, you need to make sure that your transitional phrases are there. You need to make sure, since Lieberman and Bird are going to be side by side in this essay, that they don't sound too much alike as far as the transitional phrases. You want to sort of mix it up so that there's variety there. Otherwise, it'll sound choppy and you'll sort of sound like a robot. So be careful when you do that. Okay? So my next paragraph would be Lieberman. The paragraph after that would be Bird. And in the next instructional video, I will be helping you with paragraph 4, which is the compare and contrast paragraph. So that will be posted in the next couple of days. Go ahead and work on this part, and I will see you online.